Well, no. It's a common misconception. In fact, India does not have an official national game. Apparently, most of the Indians believe that hockey is India's national sport. Because that's what the media says, it's taught in schools, it is written in many GK books, and it is what most of the journalists believe. But in 2012, in response to an RTI query, Union Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports stated that India has not notified any national game as such. This makes us wonder why hockey has so long been known as the national sport of India. The Indian hockey team won 6 Olympic gold medals from 1928 to 1956, and 11 until 1980. Blame it on our school textbooks. We were always told that hockey is India's national sport. Well, it's not. There's no national sport of India. The Union Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has said that the centre has not declared any sport as the national game of the country. The ministry said this in response to an RTI query filed by a school teacher from Dhule district of North Maharashtra. There is a popular perception that hockey is the national sport of India. The government has not declared any sport/game as the national game of the country, as the objective of the government is to encourage or promote all popular sports disciplines, the reply from the ministry stated. Gujarat High Court has observed that, though majority of people in India have accepted Hindi as a national language, there was nothing on record to suggest that any provision has been made or order issued declaring Hindi as a national language of the country. However, in the constitution, Hindi was declared as an official language and not a national language. Hindi and English are the official languages of the Union of India, that is, at the central government level. However, each state is allowed to have its own official language based on its own linguistic demographics. So, we end up having a total of 22 official languages today. However, India does not have a national language. There is difference between a national language and an official language. The fact that India have 2 official languages and no national language. The Mukherjee report of 1999 suggests that Bose didn't die in an air crash in 1945, even though the court rejected this report. There is no record of a plane crash at the time Bose was believed to be flying. Add to that, no DNA analysis was done on the ashes that are said to be Bose's, to prove otherwise. The real timing and cause of Netaji's demise have been surrounded by mystery ever since. It was reported in 1945. There are 4 conspiracy theories about Subhash Chandra Bose's death. Just a few years before India became independent, Bose vanished. Japanese news agency said Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose died on August 18 in a plane crash at the Japanese-controlled Matsuyama Military Airport in Taiwan. The incident left many Indians in a state of shock and disbelief. Even after 75 years, the controversy surrounding the death of Bose refuses to die down. A few believe that he did not die during the accident. Other theories say that he spent his last days in Uttar Pradesh, while some say he lived abroad. Gandhi had a lot of fancy one-liners, the kind that he could have owned Twitter with if he was around in this day and age. But for all his wise quips, this wasn't one of them. Contrary to popular belief, these words were actually said by Ben Kingsley in the movie Gandhi. There is no record of this statement being made by Gandhi in any of his collected works. While pseudo-intellectuals go around advocating that these words were Gandhi's very own, the fact is just the opposite. There's no evidence in Gandhi's recorded history of him saying this. That quote seems to succinctly summarize his pacifist views. The Gandhi family told the Yale Book of Quotations editor that they believe the quote should be attributed to Gandhi, but no one has ever been able to provide evidence that he said it. For years, Indians have believed that the Indian Railways is the largest employer of manpower on the planet. Although the railways do have an army of employees, but it most certainly does not have the world's largest employee base. Indian Railways is the largest employer in India, with 14 lakh employees, but only the 8th biggest employer of the world. Immediately after Indian Railways, in the 8th rank with 1.4 million staff is the Indian Armed Forces with 1.3 million people. According to a research published by the World Economic Forum, the U.S. Department of Defense is the world's biggest employer, which claims over 3.2 million employees on its roster. The original Indian constitution never had the term secular. The constitution was later amended in 1976, adding the term secular to its preamble and other sections. The Supreme Court says, India has always been a secular country, but then why didn't we have it in our constitution? In a truly secular country, all citizens irrespective of religion would be covered by a single set of laws. In India, however, people of different religion beliefs are covered by different laws. While Hindus, Sikhs, and Buddhists are covered by the Hindu code bills, Muslims are covered by Muslim personal laws, and Christians are covered by Christian personal laws. Government control of temples, but not of mosques or churches. Truly secular country would not subsidize any pilgrimage, period. However, the Indian government spent 836 crore on Hajj subsidies in 2012. If the state were so keen to subsidize pilgrimages, shouldn't it subsidize the pilgrimages of all religions? The vast majority of Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Parsis, Sikhs, agnostics, and atheists live peacefully in India as they should. Communal violence is not very common, with roughly 54 communal incidents a month in a nation of 1.25 billion people. Of course, the ideal would be to have zero communal incidents in the country. At the end of the day, India must become a truly secular country, where the state treats all citizens equally, irrespective of their religious beliefs. If you happen to see a picture of legendary Indian Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, better known as Mahatma Gandhi, merrily dancing away with a white girl at a party, while still in his doties, take heart, it is not him. Take a closer look, and you will see that the image is real, but the Gandhi in it is fake. Apparently it is an Australian octo, posing as Gandhi who is shaking a leg with the lady. The two were captured at a charity gala in Sydney, say reports. It has been believed over the years that Mahatma Gandhi was photographed dancing with Queen Elizabeth II. However, if the image is looked carefully, one can easily spot the muscular build of the impersonator. Also, Mahatma Gandhi always wore a specific leather footwear that was made by himself, which on observation can be easily spotted. It has been a popular belief that India did not play in the 1950 Football World Cup, as they did not want to wear shoes. The Tour de Brazil was a costly affair, and I thought that India had no chance of winning against the likes of Italy. To escape embarrassment, I've blamed the FIFA for not accepting players who wanted to play barefoot. The World Cup in 1950 was being held in Brazil. In 1950, it was not a simple matter to travel to Brazil. Teams withdrawing from the World Cup over financial reasons would be quite reasonable. In fact, that is an alternate theory that has arisen over the years, that India withdrew because they could not afford the trip. This appears to be false, as the organizers offered to pay most of the travel expense to get India to Brazil. As if India did not come, they would not have a representative from Asia, which is exactly what happened. The tournament ended up playing with 14 teams instead of 16, with one group having just 2 teams in it. According to India's Sports Illustrated magazine, the All India Football Federation (AIFF) announced that the team would not attend the World Cup, citing disagreements over team selection and insufficient practice time. Many believe that our flying Sikh looked back during the 400 meters race at the 1960 Rome Olympics. But the truth is that he wasn't even leading in the same race. He was 4th and came 4th overall in the race. Yes, he didn't look back. But with great effort, he secured 4th position. Many believe that he looked back during the 400 down at the 250 meters mark and could not pick up the pace after that. After clocking a world record 45.8 seconds in the 400-meter race preliminaries in France, and finishing second in all of his 400 meters races prior to the races, Milkha Singh, dubbed the Flying Sikh, was a favorite for the gold medal. Unfortunately, he ended up missing bronze by a fraction. Apart from the Olympics, Milkha has been a serial winner in other competitions, winning 4 Asia golds, and claiming India's first ever track and field Commonwealth Games gold in the 400 meters race, 440 yards at the time, at the 1958 edition. He is the only Indian male athlete to win an individual athletics gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, and his 4th place in the 400 meters at the 1960 Rome Olympics remained a national record for nearly 4 decades. Varanasi is considered the oldest inhabited city of the world. This isn't true. because there are over 30 cities, which were inhabited, before Varanasi in 1100 BC. Well, let's keep it short and clear. Varanasi is not the world's oldest city, and nor is it the world's oldest continuously inhabited city. It is one of the many oldest inhabited cities, and there are many other cities that existed way before Varanasi. According to Hindu legend, Varanasi is more than 5,000 years old, and is considered the oldest city in the world, though evidence of habitation only goes back about 3,000 years, according to the BBC. This more modest date indicates Varanasi is among many ancient cities to appear around the 1st millennium BC, and it is still the oldest city in India and is considered the holiest city in the world to Hindus. Its location on the banks of the sacred Ganges River also contributes to its prestige as an important site of pilgrimage.